with this match is obviously, you know, you're playing basically for DPC points at this stage. Yeah. It's a matchup where the majority of the time people know they're going to be going to the major already, but a little bit of preview of things to come and what they're going to be running against each other. Nothing to say playing on this Kunkka, the last pick. You were saying that you're seeing them talk a lot. What was sort of, do you think, going through their minds of what they needed for this last pick?
I guess just ways to be able to take longer fights, because there are, you know, like find this the catch also that comes into the play too. Not really too sure. I thought they'd actually go for a little bit more damage for this Chronosphere. I mean, this does, of course, if he's, you know, obviously not inside of it and stuff like that, will be able to, and they will be able to have like this rum buff to get on top of Drow and all that. But yeah, I'm a bit surprised that they did go for this pick, because I look at Aster's and you know, now this just makes it so that Rubik even has a better game. Right. He can have tons of spells to steal. I'm looking at, of course, you know, the Bane. They picked this to kind of counter Pango in a way and secure the lane for bottom and prevent all these pulls and stuff like that. But I'm looking at Baboka's potential here. I see Boat. I see Exorcism. Spirit Siphon we've seen amazing. So tons of different spells that this Rubik could just thrive off of.
And you know that he's going to get the farm, right?
Yes.
Boboka, always the player that makes that happen, as Monet's going to be able to force back. Nothing to say there. Planet running in too, and Monet's kind of in no man's land. Peachy moving over, they'll be able to protect their Drow.
Yeah, he's got buddies. All right, let's get underway. And the other thing too is when I look at Aster draft, they have a lot of what I want to call like preventative heroes, right? So they have the tree, they have this Doom, they have this Rubik. All these heroes have this like kind of save, and also Void can struggle in a way when he's playing versus, of course, versus Doom, but also versus Tree, because the itemization just becomes a little weird. You know, you want to go for your normal, your Maelstrom, stuff like that, but you're actually kind of just forced to go BKB Manta because you're versus Tree. And then there's also a Doom. So for Shiro, I'm really curious to see which ones he does opt for when he's playing versus all these kind of counters in a way.
Right, yeah. Is he going to need to go in for something like that Lincoln Sphere? Are they going to need to get that from somebody else in this game? We'll have to kind of keep our eyes on that itemization for sure. As this Torrent hit there onto XWY. Nothing to say, already putting that harassment on this Pango and getting pretty perfect CS.
Yeah, he hasn't missed a single one. That's probably why he really wanted the Kunkka, right? Just to dominate this matchup and slow down the Pango. Just so that they can have that good early hero to be able to move around the map and help out the Void get the space. So that must have been, you know, what they were thinking along.
And down bottom, a little bit of pressure there. Up top, keeping it back and forth. XXS playing on his Doom. And obviously, the other nice thing that you get beyond just sort of securing that there aren't any pulls coming out in this lane down here with the Bane is a really strong laner to go up against Boboka. One of the few heroes that can actually trade pretty effectively against Rubik.
Yeah, I mean, that looks like exactly what they've gone, like, kind of across the board. Just 3 really strong lanes. Aren't going to get pressured super hard. Should be able to farm and come out into mid-game and be able to have this explosive mid/late game timing versus what Aster's got. So, yeah, so far, looking clean. Nothing to say. I'm just going to be staring at mid because this guy's so damn good at mid lane.
Yeah.
It's a treat to watch.
Yeah, man. I think that that's probably going to be one of the interesting ones too, right? XWY, this kind of up-and-coming type of player, has made a really big splash so far in the scene. I feel like Aster has really gone up in stocks across the board. Torrent not quite going to be on the mark there, but nothing to say. Still the one that is definitely coming out ahead in this laning matchup. But it's not terrible for Pango right now. Only 5 CS behind, but those denies.
Yeah, I mean, he's gonna have a tough time catching back up if it's just that straight 1v1. And I don't know if they can really make too many rotations to look at these runes. Just looking at the way that these side lanes are presented. Rubik leaving Doom for a bit. I mean, he could probably, I guess Baboka could be the one to make moves, but Tree, I don't want to see him leave the Drow Ranger by any means. This is a very kill threat lane that PSG.LGD has up top, the Death Prophet and Tusk.
Yeah, roll right on in there if they get a creep wave underneath the tower, can make some plays with the glyphs or what have you. And you can see already Jiang Yu actually taking a couple of right clicks from the Tree and Monet there.
The battle bottom to get the sentry to block the hard camp.
Oh my god.
Why You Smile actually took like 400 damage just because he was running up to get this sentry ward down to prevent this Doom from getting a creep. Well worth it though.
I saw there too. It's the same build that's coming out again for Death Prophet that we saw at a mid lane. This double Wraithband build.
Yeah.
People just keep on going for this, just maxing out armor, and against Drow, why not? That seems perfect.
Yep. I mean, Wraithband is just the most cost-effective item, it seems like, for quite some time now. I think even before pros were doing it, this item is amazing.
Can stand toe-to-toe against the Tree and the Drow Ranger very well in this lane. And already you can see that off to a pretty good start and getting some damage there onto the tree. In some trouble with the shards block off. Does look like almost going down. Yes, first blood. Zhang Yu finds it.
That must have been exactly enough damage. It's level 1 Crypt Swarm. Beautifully done. And even looking to maybe continue going for this pressure. Planet's waiting on the side. Has a skill point saved. So Monet does have to be cautious how far he steps up. Yeah, that's what we were saying, right? The super kill threat lane up here. Planet now puts the point in Snowball, so maybe thinking about going.
I mean, if they go on tree again up here, or no, instead they're just going to go back onto Monet. So, tag team, they throw out the right clicks. Is it going to be enough to kill off the DP in time? Monet is going to go down to Planet, but they get the kill onto Zhang Yu first.
Oh my god, I mean, the Wraith Bands, right? You see the effect of them immediately. 6 armor on this Death Prophet. They're able to just commit onto Drow.
That multi-shot almost killed her off before she was able to do the damage they needed. And that would have been a huge swing back if Aster was able to get the kill onto DP and keep the Drow alive. But yeah. Doesn't quite happen.
A lot of XP for this tree, though, when he gets that solo XP for the... Sorry, he didn't get the solo XP, but he gets a ton of XP anyway. It's level 3. Almost 4, so that's probably going to be a little bit harder for them to actually go aggressive on this Drow once tree gets more points either in living armor or the second point in Leech Seed. Good pressure coming out from PSG.LGD. Drow suffering, and looking at the lanes right now on the side of LGD, mid and bottom going excellent.
Well, speaking of, they get some harassment there onto XWY, who is going to have to take the long walk back home. So Kunkka able to bully him out with this double bracer build that we're seeing from Nothing to Say. And this is going to be a pretty nice window when he gets level 6 before the Pango's going to have it completed. Is why you smile. Trouble just gets dropped. Shiro trying to get something to turn it back the other way, but Bulbaka should just be able to walk that one off.
Great aggressive play. They got a good creep. Seed shot, pretty decent. Pretty expensive, but still a good one to be able to go for these kills. The Bane, he's just trying to constantly make sure that they don't get some type of creeps and stuff like that, but will get punished this time around. And now Bulbaka looking to make a move, but we also see why you smile. He's going to fill up nothing. He actually does not go for the fill up. They're just going for the kill.
This is level 6. They got him caught.
2 shield crash. He's got 40% damage reduction.
Snowball in, and yeah, he's going to be fine. And gets level 6 off the back of it. Nothing to say. Moving in, wants that region. Oh, good shards. Planet making sure you can't get that one in time. And now Bulbaka is just going to get nightmared. Everybody heads back to their own lanes again.
All the supports making moves. 6-minute power rune, super powerful here as XWY going aggressive onto Nothing to Say. Doesn't have the boat, but he's very tanky.
The bounce back doesn't get the best angle on it. So XWY, not really that much done with that roll, but nonetheless, will use both ultis out of the mid laners.
That was a bit interesting there. I guess just trying to get some type of harassment, but yeah, I mean, this Kunkka has more than enough HP. You know, he's like half HP, but it's like 600 or 700 when he gets the go on him. So yeah, bit of an interesting one there. And yeah, the double shield crash when they make the initial go, so too much damage reduction for PSG.LGD to get that kill. But looking at lanes, everything is, I mean, exactly I think what we had hoped for this game. We're dead even at the 6-minute 30.
And a lot of big team fight ultis for the late game that you could imagine. I mean, there are some sort of interesting things, and I think that a lot of this game is going to come down to XXS's moves, right? And the where he finds those initiations. Cool.
And look at the build from Shiro that he's already queued up. He's got the Midas into the Maelstrom. We're going late game. We're going full greed coming out here because, you know, like I was saying, you want to go for this Maelstrom kind of build, but yeah, you need to probably go for BKB and Manta and stuff like that because you're playing versus the Drow Silence, you're playing versus Tree and Protector, playing versus all these big teamfight ultimates that can control you. This is interesting. Greed versus greed, baby.
I mean, that is super interesting. I want to see if like the rest of the team is sort of lining up with that same philosophy of, you know, itemization. Like, are we going to see Kunkka try and go for a greedy build along the way too? Or does he need to be sort of the one making the moves around the map and trying to play more aggressively just to buy more space for Shiro?
I'd imagine he just goes some kind of standard Kunkka, like BKB Halberd, right? It's really valuable this game versus Drow. Maybe he can itemize for like that AC and stuff like that, the plus armor versus Drow. Maybe he also goes Armlet, honestly. I think maybe that's going to actually be the build for Nothing to Say. He is versus Doom, which can sometimes be a bit of a concern, but the plus armor and heavy damage, and I think for the DP and the Kunkka, they want to be the ones making that space, as you were mentioning, for the Void, especially if he's going to go Midas. So yeah, we'll see what build Nothing to Say does opt for. And I think for the offlaner, you're just going to go the usual. I think it's just Greaves. Yeah. As EXO is popped, they're going on Monet.
Big play up top. Can they get him? right underneath that tower, and the tree armor, oh, he's living through a lot of it, but the rotation comes on in with that Rolling Thunder, and Planet down low. Monet just barely off the mark. The Ghost is still chasing him there, but it looks like Monet's going to get out. Planet goes down, and Zhang Yu just sort of has to sit here and get some damage onto the tower. It is going to be a pretty good exorcism used, but losing the Tusk and not getting the Drow hurts.
Yeah. Still well worth it. As bottom now,
Well,
Chrono.
He moves back into lane and is going to catch 2 ultis. Nothing to say, walks into the Chrono for a second. But XXS, Tidebringer hit, does have him pulled back in and then brought down.
Okay, his Midas is on the courier right above him. He actually didn't put it on himself. Thought he would maybe get it delivered and then just put it onto the creep immediately, but saving it for a moment. That's mid now. Tower Rune.
Just trying to keep him off of the Bane, it looks like. And Bobka still chasing. Denies the Rune. Well played.
Oof, a slow start though for Monet. They are putting so much pressure onto him with that move that they went up top, even though they didn't get the kill onto him. Did force him away from the lane, and he's going to have a tough time catching back up versus all these ults, all these different things, and just get right on top of him. The Tusk, the DP as we've seen, and even the Kunkka. Like, everyone's kind of just going to be able to get on top of Monet, so that could be some problems for Aster. Until they get some levels on these supports to be able to protect him, especially.
Well, it even feels like it's really not the type of game that Monet normally likes to play either. I always think about this guy as an aggressive carry that likes to get involved in action, and it's not really going to be the case. Well, down bottom, Why You Smile is going to get ran at by 3 heroes and killed off by XXS.
So the Drow is struggling, right?
Yeah.
Monet is having a bit of a slow one, but look at these supports. The Pichu's level 6 on tree already, so he is off to a great start. But Bonk already has Arcane Boots, so that's the trade-off. But still seeing PSG.LGD in a better position to really take these early fights and early ways to take towers. Like, the way that Aster has to take towers is if the Drow wants to show up and go for them, but I don't think that she wants to by any means.
Okay. That was his boots, and he had to cancel his TV. That's the saddest Bane ever. Oh my god. Yeah, okay, so he has to walk back out from base now to mid lane while Aster, they're going to put some really good pressure onto this tower. There's a counter move being made up top where they're trying to finish off the tier 1 tower. They're going to even pop Exo for it, yeah.
It just came up and he just instantly uses it. No funny business. They do not want this tree to be able to heal up the tower. So we'll go down, and bottom Aster will get the trade without having the Drow to show up. So nicely done. But LGD definitely coming out ahead in these lanes. And the greed, you know, Void being able to go for Midas like this, probably going to pay these dividends later on for them.
Yeah. And, well, they can find him here. Went for the overgrowth for a moment, but does look like they're going to be able to back out. Yeah, and won't get caught by that tree Pango. 4 heroes up there for Aster, though. So they do force a pretty big rotation to the top side of the map. It will make some more space for Monet to try and play this catch-up game like you're talking about. And you can see he is starting to kind of come back towards the rest of the cores. Only about 1,000, 1,300 behind the Doom on his team. So if they can make this space for Monet, that feels like it's one of the ways that you try and get back into this game.
Yeah. But will they be able to pressure Shiro? It's going to be up to XXS, really, it feels like, to be able to go for him. But you said, I think this is going to be a pretty farm-heavy game. We've got the double Midases, so Aster definitely going to be looking to play a little bit more catch-up and try to secure their jungle, but the double wards are actually just completely up. So they didn't actually find either of those wards given the vision of Monet.
Well, they find XWY pops the invis, and with no detection, he will be able to just walk out of there. Did force out the overgrowth.
They don't have a point in DP silence. He probably was just fine anyway, but
a little bit of safety just to be sure. And Bobka, as you have talked about many times, the farm-heavy man that he is, but then on top of that, also having a pretty good game on this Rubik, as they will get the courier kill.
Planet.
Well, Planet, he gets pushed to the other sides of his shards. That was a really nice shards, actually. And now the mech move over. That was awesome.
That was sick. I mean, he just messed with XWY completely with those shards. They will find the D ward, since he did punch the courier there. So, at the very least, Aster, they don't get the kill, but they will be able to open up the map for Monet up there.
God, XXS. He just walks back in and double ults again right on top of this Doom. Yeah, they are doing what they need to do here on LGD.
The state of the game is just very slow, so they don't mind committing double ults to kill this inflated Doom. It's like a pinata. Look at that net worth. So bunch of gold, bunch of experience being given. And now they'll send Shiro up top to be able to get that safe farm.
So spreading out the map and still even in kill scores, but those double kills on the Doom definitely giving a lot of gold back to those heroes that matter. And Shiro, unhampered. He's had a perfectly fine time. 0-0-2, just past 100 last hits. Has the Midas done?
That is definitely concerning for the side of Aster. They're trying to find something. They smoke into the jungle, but do they even have enough to be able to kill anybody here? With Death Prophet here, I think they have to kind of be very careful.
The X, they find him, pulls him back in. It's only Bobica, and actually he's stolen X as they get the overgrowth to catch onto everybody. Bobica low, but not dead yet, and the Fiend's Grip from the side. There's nothing to stop that one right now. XWY tries to get out of harm's way, and, well, they do have the X to pull back the Torrent. He misses it, though. Nothing to say, a rare whiff on that one. And now everybody runs into Monet. The Gus, the pushback. They do finally find that kill on XY.
But Boca did the disjoint play. He had the X stolen, so I think he X'd his buddy and broke it, if I'm not mistaken there. So, nicely done.
Very well played.
I saw that. Right, yeah, I think that's what we saw there. Yeah, he broke it, so yeah, nothing to say. Probably did not expect that X little, because for people who don't know, if you X the X target, it snaps it, because, you know, you can only have one effect of it. So nicely done from Babonka to save his buddy, and thought they were going to lose a lot more there on Aster. Trying to get aggressive, getting punished, and even though you see it's even net worth, remember, they have this Doom, so it's a little bit of that inflated net worth, where I feel like the PSG.LGD are super happy with this game state.
Getting into this BKB for nothing to say, having the Greaves coming out very soon for this Death Prophet.
Oh boy.
You're hitting a timing here where, I mean, you don't even need Shiro in these fights necessarily. And he's going in for the BKB after finishing off the Midas and the Maelstrom, which is coming up pretty soon here. A lot of big timings for LGD.
Yeah, they're like, you want to play Greed? We'll play Greed. We'll take it late. BKB is up on XXS as well, and yeah, like you said, nothing to say almost has his, but let's see if Aster, they can find any successful fights. It's just difficult for them to really catch anything, because of the way that LGD is just kind of playing as a unit and reading the map perfectly.
And even if they did sort of find moments of, you know, a couple of pickoffs here and there, those pickoffs haven't really been as impactful, it feels like. The deaths, you know, 2 of them on Bane, 1 on the Tusk, and then they got 1 kill on the DP.
Yeah, absolutely. They are looking for a timing themselves on Aster, though. With that BKB on Doom, Monet, you know, I always talk about this because it's really interesting to point out how different a lot of players play it. He now buys Shard this game very early on. He is playing versus the Death Prophet and stuff like that, and he is versus a lot of these tanky heroes. But yeah, this is going to improve his farm, improve his fight potential as well, too. So maybe they will be able to take these fights now around Diffusal, BKB, and that Shard.
And do they want to try and play with him right now? Because they've got 4 heroes in the mid lane set up to kind of look like a smoke. As X stolen again for the Rubik. We'll have to watch for those disjoint plays. Do they go for it? Torrent there, going to connect onto the Pango. And Why You Smile, he's going to be X'd and pulled. Oh.
X versus X. They're like, what?
All right.
They did it back to us. Look at Net and TS giving me a little bit of a smile.
Yeah, that was good.
Oh, that's going to mess with my brain a little bit. I got to keep an eye on that.
We need a green X mark, okay?
Yes.
That needs to happen. But Bobica showing kind of an interesting answer to this Kunkka. You know, you rely so much upon that setup that if you can have somebody in there to break it, it definitely will make his game a lot harder.
LGD looking to take advantage of the fact that Rolling Thunder's on cooldown. They've got Chrono. They've got everything.
No, this can't hit, though. They know.
Just clipped them.
Yeah, and now the wraparound. They have to get the hell out of here. Why You Smile back behind the tower. Bobica, he's in their sights trying to hide in the trees. Dude, are you kidding me? The X is there. He runs into nothing to say. Now he's in trouble and will get dropped. So it can only last for so long as 5 heroes from LGD go mid, and they're going to take this tower.
They want to kick up that tempo, start taking these towers versus the tree.
I really like the way that LGD are playing this, right? Just draft a bunch of huge ultimates and then commit like 2 or 3 of them for everything.
Yeah, I'm definitely a big fan of the way they're playing. And playing around cooldowns, right? They wasted Pango roll, so they're just putting so much emphasis to take tower because of that being wasted. It is back up now for Aster. Rubik also respawning. The tower will drop.
And try and take the fight on the way out. I don't know about that one.
Okay, well, LGD just walks away.
Yeah, I guess that they were hoping somebody was going to stick around there, but regardless, tower taken, and LGD now another window where there's no Pango roll. I'm not sure if they know that that got thrown out there.
No, they saw it. Yeah, they definitely did.
Okay.
But they're just, I mean, they're just like, okay, whatever. We got the tower. We got what we came for. So back up, farm. It's not like there's another big tower that they can go for just yet, but they'll just wait probably for these next few items to come up. They're about to finish. They're about to get some more timings. Blink's about to be finished for Tusk. Death Prophet has quite a lot of gold, and okay, yeah, nothing to say. He's not even going to go the Halberd, so just straight BKB-AC to deal with the Drow.
Do you see that one? Pango going back for the mech build.
Okay.
So a little bit of a change from what we've seen out of these mid Pangos, I feel like. Have we seen that much Greaves?
No, I don't believe so at all. I mean, from the offlane, I don't even think from the offlane Pangos we've seen him too much, if I'm not mistaken. But okay, cool. Wants to be able to fight a little bit better, wants to be a bit tankier. And eventually maybe he is going to go down the lines of, I don't know, maybe Greaves eventually, but that seems like a very big commitment of gold from your mid laner. I guess, yeah, he has queued it up. I mean, versus Death Prophet silence and stuff like that can make sense, but okay.
I guess maybe there's also this thing where, like, Doom is going for, you know, the big scaling items and stuff like that, so you feel like maybe you need these teamfight items from somebody else. He's like, okay, I guess I have to go this.
Okay.
But
it's going to make him a lot weaker, I guess, in the point of, like, scaling.
Yeah. Yeah, it definitely feels that way.
Interesting.
But
very slow game.
Yeah, they're kind of just chilling. Nothing to say.
They got the blink.
Dude, they wait for him on the back and pops the BKB. The roll used. This fight has not gone the way I think Aster envisioned it, as they will just walk away. So BKB used.
Yeah, they do get the BKB charge, though. Nothing to say. Very fast on his BKB. And now Aster maybe can get the push going themselves with Monet here, who also has found a Grove Bow. Just looking at some of these neutral items.
Okay.
But Grove Bow for Monet, Philosopher's Stone for Baboka, so as we said, the farm. And now we're seeing the itemization coming out from Death Prophet. He's going to be the one going for Halberds instead of the Kunkka. So ways to prevent the damage from Monet. And now a Smoke, Aster. Both teams playing super smart around these like wasted cooldowns, wasted anything.
So no BKB on the Kunkka, but no roll on the Pango, and looking for a target, nothing to say, is just going to walk away from them. You smile there too. Aster can't find a way to start these fights.
They're trying so hard to do something, but yeah, people just keep walking away. Tons of different ways to just reset.
Dude, now LGD feeling like they can maybe get aggro.
I love this.
I mean, they have Chrono ready, Snowball in, they find Pichu right at the start. Force Staff pulls Planet pretty far into this one, and now they're like, okay, we'll find the initiation here. Doom on to that Kunkka, but he's just walking away, as we have said.
All right, well, I mean, they'll get the Tusk, but a huge wasted cooldown, and BKB is about to be back up for the Kunkka.
God, you gotta imagine that Aster is so frustrated with the way that this game has gone.
Yep. No real great way of catching just yet until they do have like Tree with the blink or Rubik with the blink to be able to jump on top of people. Yep, heroes just walk away. And this has been a little bit of the downfall and pitfall of Doom in general, I think, when we watched in this region, right? It's like a lot of times we just see the Doom gets thrown out and then nothing happens. So let's see if next time they'll be able to actually grab somebody as PSG.LGD, perhaps attempt maybe threatening Roshan here. They have BKB on the Void. They have Halberd Greaves. They have Exorcism. Yeah, I think Aster might just have to give this one up without the Doom, BKB, and Doom.
It's interesting, right? Because you see that move go in as, you know, LGD are going to take this Roche, and immediately afterwards you see like the blink queued up by the Pango before the Greaves, and the blink queued up for the Tree, which was already kind of there, but I imagine they go for it earlier because they have to find a way to actually like force these fights. Otherwise, they're just not going to be able to, you know, take a good one on their terms.
Yeah, I mean, LGD, they're very content with game state. They're just chilling, farming. Shiro is having a free game. He has 200 last hits on this Void. I mean, this is insane how even the last hits are. Ooh, that's a big steal. He hasn't even, okay, didn't use another spell. They've got Boat.
Well, so do, yeah, LGD. Baboka, Force Staff, keeping him alive. Boat still waiting to the side.
Oh, Monet.
He's kind of caught. Oh, but the Hurricane Pike gets him to the other side. Overgrowth onto 4.
Oh no, X Success, he's on the cliff.
He is completely isolated. This has been a little bit crazy back and forth. Now stolen grip, but there's the Chrono onto everybody. They immediately decide we need to take down this Rubik, kill him off before he can get that grip off. And 2 already dead for Aster, looking like it's going to be more. Another Shard's connection onto Monet, and with no Hurricane Pike after this one, they're going to be able to chase down and bring down this Drow. Monet, Shards catches him again. The snowball forward, disaster in the river.
XXS blinked on the cliff. Oh no. He was stuck there as LGD, they land. I mean, the literal best chrono I think I've seen in such a long time. Catches everybody, catches Pango during the roll. Oh baby. Shiro, looking hot.
Yeah, you take a look at this one again, and
look at the poor Doom.
I know, it really hurts.
Everything connects onto this Death Prophet and lives with 70 HP and able to turn everything. Good God.
And what could have been, you know? Think about how different that looks if you can find that Doom onto Shiro. I guess he didn't even have it at that point, yeah.
But it's just like, you know, at least he'd be able to do something instead of just watch the fight.
Oh my God, Shards on Shards. And the snowball to dodge all the damage. And Planet gets the blink out. They will find the control now on a Xiangyu. He's in some trouble, but can they bring him down in time? The Spirit Siphon, he is so survivable right now. The Shards are there again from Bobica, and eventually they'll bring down that DP.
He accepted his death. He didn't even use that last Spirit Siphon charge. So super close game. Definitely very back and forth as Aster, they've got quite a lot up right here. Are they going to look to try to take advantage of the cooldowns on LGD?
Ooh, XXS does a good play right there. That was very nicely done.
And he can save the Doom as well.
Oh, he's still taking a lot of damage. Nothing to say. Turns. Oh my God. Is he going to kill him off? XXS turns to punch. Nothing to say. Wants to find one turn, but not going to get it.
Big play. That's a huge pick off there. Not having to use the Doom, not even having to use his BKB. That might set them up for the next play too, as LGD does still have quite a few spells on cooldown, especially that chrono for 20 seconds.
Well, a very scrappy game, this one. You see that play down bottom where Nothing to Say thinks he can just move in and clear out a camp, or rather a wave just by himself, and was sort of depending upon that BKB TP out, but in the end it did not end up working.
This is top tier Dota at its finest. Both teams knowing exactly how to play around each other, both teams knowing exactly when to fight, how to take them. Sure, a little bit of a mistake there, of course, from Aster getting that positioning there of the cliff, but still in a very comfortable position this game.
And with Chronosphere back up again, XWY, they break the smoke and immediately run away.
And he is going to be going for that Linken's on Shiro, but means he does not actually have a Dispel for the Overgrowth. So eyes on that inside of those Chronospheres if they just, you know, jump into on the outside of it and get him trapped up with Overgrowth, as the blink is there for the tree now.
Okay.
And Monet does have BKB now, so Aster, they have a timing where they can look to fight back, even if LGD has all these ultimates.
Right. Yeah, I think it's a scary moment because, like you say, if he forced to use that BKB to try and dispel the Overgrowth, you're basically going to be wasting so much of the duration of that, most likely. You want to have those like little low-cost ones, but maybe he's just going to wait for tier 4 neutrals. That's the key.
I mean, this is going to be one of those games where we're playing to the late game, of course, because these Midas's Shiro finds himself a haste.
And you can see the next item that they're going for in XXS. He's picking up that Aghanim Scepter.
Yeah. He's expecting these Linken's to start coming out soon, which, yep, it's queued up on the Void. I believe it's queued up on Death Prophet after Lotus, but yeah, he's looking for that preventative measure so he can always catch the Void or the Kunkka. As Kunkka now, nothing to say. He's got an AC. I mean, this is insane how close it is. Like, it's dead even.
Yeah. I kind of, you know, one of the things that I feel like has been one of the big downfalls of Doom this tour, and I would say in most regions we've been seeing the rough sort of Doom performances, but it's been this Aghanim Scepter in some ways, because you have this belief that, like, oh, I can jump in there, I can doom everybody, they're not going to be able to make anything happen, but oftentimes they just end up dying because they don't have that armor to deal with it. He's going into the Shivas after it, it looks like, but there is going to be this window with the AC done where I feel like Doom just might get evaporated by like an Exo or even just the right clicks coming in.
Initiation is going to be everything. And if Aster is also able to kind of just kite and reset fights, perhaps that's going to be something, right? Because during Rum, they probably are a little bit cautious of how they want to take that fight, but they have a lot of save, right? They have the Rubik Shard that we've seen, I think, this tour more than anything. That's why this hero has been so prominent on top of his little buffs and stuff like that. And they have 4 staffs, which I imagine they're going to get even more of to save their Drow Ranger. All about positioning, all about initiation this game.
Radiant's bottom tower
You
is
can
under
see
attack.
there the trade-off of the tier
Dire's
2
top
towers.
tower
Both
is under
teams
attack.
willing to make those exchanges. Do have some interesting items coming out now. There's a blast rig on Dire. Got that Titan sliver. I was waiting to see if there's going to be a mind breaker for Aster too for that Pango, but so far hasn't been able to pick one up yet.
Not just yet. Monet, he's going to get rid of Grove Bow. He's going to pick up Titan Sliver. Yeah,
I'm gonna say
he's switching it.
they will just pull him back out of trouble.
Looks like he finds a quiver instead on Monet. All right. Tons of different items. These are very impactful ones.
Yeah.
As we're pointing out here, though. Paladin Sword now for Death Prophet too.
Dude, Shiro is just making items. Like,
So rich.
just-
Level 20 versus the level 16 Drow.
this guy just got a Lincoln Sphere, and he's already queuing up the Satanic, has Scotty on the horizon. I mean, I am very afraid for how big this Faceless Void is getting.
Yeah, this is going to be problematic. I mean, you have to get him with the Doom, but there's going to be that Lincoln, so they have to find a way to break it. Almost Ags on XXS.
And that attack speed during Chronosphere talent for that level 20.
Oh, yeah. And he finds a Titan Sliver, too. So
Right.
if he does get doomed, might actually survive because that's status resist and whatnot, too. As LGD, perhaps feeling like they have a timing themselves here now, too. All clustered up. Ward coverage, though, from Aster has been beautiful. Very defensive style wards.
Yeah.
But I mean, both teams seem very content to just be able to farm. It's all going to be up to how those fights are taken with those jumps and initiations. So, yeah, really cool game. Calm, but cool.
Right. And it feels like one of those that is going to have that big breakout moment around that, like, I don't know, probably the second Roche fight is going to be one of the big ones that might determine a lot of what ends up happening here. Going into the Silver Edge for Monet, so we'll see what items are up at that point in time, but also the vision and where teams are going to opt to play around. Because like you said, these defensive wards are pretty solid right here.
Yep.
Why You Smile now trying to take away some of them and also take over this outpost.
But Boca is super farmed, right? This Philosopher's Stone paying dividends like crazy. He has a Lotus, a Force Staff, and a Shard already. So big steals could happen. And now Aster, they've got their Ags. So let's see if they do look to take a battle themselves, even though they are in a pretty defensive posture.
That outpost under the control right now of LGD, so they can reinforce if there is some big fight with buybacks. Roche capable of respawning, but as you can see, it's one of the longer respawn times. It's about 2 minutes 45.
Yeah, that might be one of the big things that LGD does look to do, right? Since they're playing versus Doom, if one of them does get doomed up and killed right away, they have this outpost now to be able to go for those numbers. So, yeah, very good call.
XWY, the wraparound. They're smoking into their triangle again.
Both teams are just so cautious the way they're taking any type of battle. Why You Smile, they'll walk in.
CM, and will retreat back. So hides off in that Roche pit for a second. The rest of LGD... Yeah, I mean, this little ring around the rosy deal is always so scary. And you can see that neither team really wants to go outside of where their vision is here.
They have to. I feel like they have to retake this outpost, but they're going to show if they do.
Yeah, they see it on the tree. Immediately there for a couple of them, and the Doom comes out. It's on to 2. That's a great 2 to get. Shards actually keeps the rest of his team encapsulated in it, and they're now onto the Kunkka. This is the best Ags Doom I've seen in a while. The Mute is there onto the Faceless Void. He's starting to drop him down low, but the snowball turn onto Bobica. Meanwhile, XWY has to just get the hell out of there. Nothing to say. Down to super low HP, and Monet on top of him. Shiro, there's the grip from the low ground. They find it onto the Drow. That is the damage that they needed. The buyback coming in from that Bane did wonders.
That's the outpost, right? They just have this way to bring in the numbers. And Tree, he blinked into the Chrono. He tries to get the blink play right on the outside of it so he can actually root this Void during BKB, during Chronosphere, but a little bit of an overblink puts him into a tough spot, and they get smashed during that fight. Roche not up immediately, but yeah, we're gonna see it again. After a great initiation, what it looked like to start from Aster, these buybacks come in and watch the Chrono push the Tree. So I think this was a pretty big slip up there from Pichu.
They couldn't keep him there, yeah. Just a little bit too close on the edge, and ends up getting punished heavily. I mean, if he gets that overgrowth, you might actually live, because like you talked about, there isn't that easy dispel for the Faceless Void once BKB's been used.
Yeah. Oof. These type of little mistakes, they're massive in this type of game. As DD now spawns top, Roche is up in 2 seconds. Oh god.
Well, you can see those damage numbers across the board pretty even. And, well, LGD, they want to try and take this. The jump in. XWY there, he's silenced. Does have the Greaves to pull himself out of this.
He had 80% reductions, also was pretty safe. But yeah, DD Void, it's going to get brought down pretty quick, this Roche.
Doom back up in 40 seconds. It's going to be way too late for that one. They have Overgrowth in 13. If they can wait a little bit longer, they roll in. And no, the Blink, he messed that one up completely.
Oh, no.
That was not the way it was meant to go, and that is going to, for sure, secure this Roche for LGD.
Oh, man. These little mistakes from Aster. Uh-oh.
So he canceled and then blinked in. Am I seeing that right?
Yeah, I think it was just a little mistake. I didn't see anything cancel unless it was like a mini X that I didn't get to see or something like that that just tripped him. I don't know. Something just went totally wrong there. That is a huge window. Now Shiro, we're mentioning the Dispels, the Mantas, etc., stuff like that. There it is. He's got Satanic instead, so he's going to be able to have that Dispel. And of course, this increased survivability.
It's still less than 1,000 gold separating the two teams.
But look at the levels, right?
Yeah.
Void's 22 compared to the 19 Drow, and yeah, he's feeling pretty impossible to bring down. And with Aegis now, very difficult for Aster.
Yeah, the game is feeling rather rough.
Yeah. It's insane how these little things make such a big difference. They compound so much in these type of high-tier games.
Wow. When everybody's playing at great positioning and all the rest of it, there's very little separating the two of them.
Yeah.
As Satanic completed, Midas backpacked, and LGD, they're ready to go again.
Aster's fights are going to be so complicated now. It's like now you can't actually prevent this Void from pretty much doing whatever he wants. He has Dispel for Overgrowth, Dispel for the Gust, etc., and stuff like that. Ways to control the Pango. Yeah, they're looking to get this another big grab here, as even saving buybacks on Nothing to Say still, just in case of anything.
And you know, you talk about like the little things mattering. Think about how different that Roche looks if they are 20 seconds later and all their cooldowns are back up, but the DD spawns, they're able to get it. And it's suddenly like a moment where you can actually take it too much quickly, and they almost catch on to Bobica there. That is a chrono use.
It looks cool. It was an arcane rune, to be fair, so less cooldown, of course, there for Shiro, but that whiff.
He didn't even have blink. This is a Force Staff.
Yeah, he just moved away from it. It was a little bit of a misplay from Shiro. And now Aster, they're like, all right, Chrono's on cooldown, let's go. Gotta make something happen. Because it does look like they're gonna struggle in any of these team fights versus that Chrono.
It is into Aegis, which is a little bit of a concern, but Why You Smile finds the Nightmare onto one, blinks forward, catches, stun, dead. Can they get anybody else though?
He's fine with that. That's the job of the 5 position, tank the gank, and immediately they push out bottom with the Death Prophet. So won't be able to get anything too big out of that Chrono being on cooldown from Aster. This is such a nice, like such a beautiful game of like the top tier Dota that we've seen in quite a few days, really. These two teams really understanding every little thing.
Yeah, and where they need to sort of position on the map when there's the cooldowns that can try and make those big moves for it. A Hex picked up for Nothing to Say.
That's going to be massive to be able to catch this Pango, catch this Doom before they expect it.
Oh yeah.
Blink on Monet, so as we said, positioning is everything really for the Drow to be able to try to protect herself, but LGD feeling real strong right now.
So I guess the one thing that I'm sort of wondering about is with that Hex sort of decision, do you think that they have the damage if they can just keep people under control? Is there any damage issues at all coming out for LGD?
No, they have Void. Yeah, Void is getting just way too big. Doesn't feel like they'll have any issues with that, as Death Prophet also. Sure, her items got slowed down because she had to buy back, but it's a level 3 Exorcism already, so she's almost at her peak damage ability anyway.
Right. And I guess these fights are consistently happening around the big ultis, so you're going to have Exo ready. You're most likely going to have Chrono there.
Almost got the courier there. While you smile, I think he saw the components of that Aeon disc, so I think they know that the Pango's going to be going for that soon. Who was the one who just picked up Gem?
Not sure.
Just saw Gem on a courier.
Uh-oh.
It was Why You Smile, okay. It was Innocence.
It's looking okay. These tier 4 neutrals now coming out, so more ways to deal with these slight little dispels, whether it's a DP silence or whether it's a tree overgrowth.
Yeah, let's see if Shiro finds himself the incredible Witchbane that we love so much versus these Aeon discs and whatnot.
Yeah. He is getting close to that camera, that is for sure.
He always is. We always just got the beautiful eyes of Shiro.
Oh, I thought that was another chrono use, but that was just the gem effect. As Shiro pressuring this down.
Almost 25 on Shiro now, too. Telescope's been found, too, so another great pickup for them.
And continues to just make so many items appear in his inventory. Is getting closer and closer to that Scotty being done. And Planet, he's going back for, was that Planet? Yeah, an Aghanim Scepter.
Cool. I mean, like we said, positioning, right? Everything. Yeah. So if he's able to kick the Drow into a bad position, even potentially kick heroes into Chronosphere to catch them, right? He could actually do a lot of really fun, cool plays. Witchbane is found. Are they going to bring it out for somebody?
Oh, that's really nice.
No, not. I think right now he's still just sticking with Titan Sliver.
Okay.
Just, you know, that status resist and everything. Too damn good for now. Perhaps we'll switch it once he sees Aeon Disc or something, but we'll see.
And you could see there, too, the Bane is the other one that's going for the Axe, which is why I was mixed up a little bit. So they're going to have 2 different rounds of this, that Fiend's Grip being thrown across 3 of the heroes. So next couple of minutes are going to be interesting to watch how Aster want to deal with this. Do they want to try and play aggressive? Are they going to be waiting for sort of the next item up for Monet? He's going in for a Lincoln Sphere, too.
I mean, this game, like you said, it's as even as it gets. It's 14 to 12. The net worth is just literally ping-ponging between like 100 between the 2 of them.
And a lot of that net worth, of course, is going to be on that Rubik. That's sort of one of the big differentials, and I feel like a big part of that is just that it's been a Philosopher's Stone. Like, some of it's Bulbica, but LGD don't have one.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, he's got 111 last hits, too, but yeah, it's the Philly making that difference between him and the Tusk. As yeah, we see those beautiful neutrals.
Why you smile, trying to take away the vision, play around their ward. While likewise, Aster have one up over near that Roshan with no more Aegis. Could be waiting for that 3rd one around here.
Look how they're playing with the X. X plus Gem, throw Lincolns on him as well, just so we can go scout the vision so they can make sure they can get these ideal jumps. LGD playing very cautiously. Near 25 on Void. They do have, of course, that Silver Edge on Monet, so even when that 25 does come out, you know, backtrack, it is breakable. So they do have at least a slight answer versus Shiro, but so far, a very clean game except for that one whiffed chrono. 4, 0, and 8.
And 40 minutes in now, they are still continuing to protect Monet and his positioning. I do kind of wonder if LGD feel any sort of, you know, pressure at all at this point, because to me it feels like they're in sort of a super comfortable position, and for Aster, on a certain sort of way, it kind of feels like they're thinking, okay, our Rubik is scaling, we can just kind of play this defensive manner, wait for the next Roche. They don't seem too bothered either. No,
I think it all comes down to execution in these team fights at this point.
Yeah.
Who gets caught? If they're going to get the Doom on certain heroes, are they going to get the save? Is Monet going to be able to position himself? Are there going to be buybacks? I think that's definitely going to be one of the key things to look at for PSG.LGD when they're playing versus this Doom. Is Aster looking to smoke out, Shiro playing around his ward vision.
Planet did just buy out and has that Aghanim Scepter being delivered to him as Shiro almost gets caught right there. XXS spots a couple in that river.
This is such a tense moment. Roche, 1 minute.
WY, they move in. Shiro jumps up high ground. They find the Bane, and there's a kickback onto the Pango. But the Doom, he finds them all immediately on top of him. This Faceless Void can't do anything, and Monet up on the high ground starts to beat him down, but a great play by Jianyu to get right on top of him. It's not going to matter, though. Faceless Void doesn't get to cast anything. The Hex is there from nothing to say, but the control comes out from XXS trying to separate, and they do manage to get a little bit away from her. So on the low ground, they get the lift, the pullback. The Doom is fine. No buyback available for this Faceless Void. I mean, he's out of this fight completely. The rest of LGD in a ton of trouble as they get run down one by one. Planet kicks in Monet, but that just means Why You Smile is going to end up dying to him. They try and find a finish, but Monet still barely living through all of this. Planet, he just wants to kill him, but Monet gets away. And they're going to pause right after, feeling good. Disconnect.
DC's okay. I was like, what the hell? Like, I mean, you couldn't ask for the better fight there. Why You Smile, he walks up really far, gets initiated on first, and then they get the literal best possible situation. They get the overgrowth on the Void with the Doom on top of him, so he just can't do anything. He's stuck inside of it, isn't able to pop any defensives, and he committed his gold before the fight too, so he had just bought the Silver Edge, no buyback.
God, that's one of those moments that you just imagine how different that looks if he's able to come back into that fight and get the chrono. I feel like they committed so much for him that they would have just been able to wipe almost.
Yeah, I mean, if he's able to survive throughout all this, then probably is able to get the turn of the fight, but a perfect commitment. This time, they don't mess up. They get the tree ult, plus that Doom right on top of him, and yeah. Without the Void, you can see like all of LGD's kind of like, uh-oh, we really can't take this fight. Even though we have EXO, we don't have our big damage dealer, our 28,000 net worth Void.
Yeah, it's a fight at a 28,000 deficit.
Pretty much, yeah. And now, Aster, they lost one hero, I think. The tree just had to buy back. Roche is up in like 10 seconds, so he's just going to sit inside the pit, and I think they found their window.
God, in that last second blink away, they might have actually been able to kill him, but Bobica feeling himself after that, still cool, calm, and collected, playing on that Rubik, and the huge win means Aster are going to be gifted a Roche if they go back in there and check it out in just 3 seconds.
Bobica also got a big steal. So he's got the walrus kick as well, too, for the fun.
There you go.
They didn't go back to scout the Roche, though. They're trying to take advantage of heroes being dead to push some type of towers. But,
I mean, that makes sense.
But someone got to go scout that Roche. Yeah, it's a big one. It is a refresher shard.
That one would be enormous, because then you've got that double Doom.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
But for now, at least, with 30 seconds, all of these heroes being got. Bobica goes for the kick and finally finds him. They get him immediately. Oh, Jiangyu, they get the catch for the kill. Tusk is regretting that purchase right now.
Oh my God, Bobica, you monster. What a play. Aster, all they needed was one fight.
Dude, they have been waiting this entire time, playing on the back foot, playing from behind. This Shiro Faceless Void just completely out of it. And you were talking about it during the draft. ROTK just kept on, talking for that last pick and finally went for the Doom. He says, okay, we have 4 protect 1, let's get him.
Exactly. Just erase him from the game multiple times is, Aster. Now PSG.LGD feels like it's desperation mode.
They need to get here. They got to take it down quickly. Aster, although they need to be careful. If Aster get caught in the Roche pit, there's no DP, but I guess that
they have buybacks though, right? The Drow has buyback, so if Monet does get brought down, which doesn't look like he's going to, he's going to get that Aegis. Picks up everything.
Aegis in hand, and back to the races. Why You Smile finds one immediately, gets jumped on. XXS pairs together to get the kill, and Shiro, I don't know if you can do this alone, my friend, although is starting to bring him down, but the kick away, get out of there. Okay. Now, Overgrowth Control, nothing to say, is in a ton of trouble. They throw out the Doom and actually throw him back onto the Tusk.
Oh my.
Dude!
Bobica, he is just on fire.
The Doom initiation from the Rubik.
He just throws him on top of him, kicks the Void away too. LGD, the fights have been found for Aster, and now, without Chrono, feels like they're probably just going to lose their entire base. What a game. This is amazing, Dota.
Bobica is having a standout performance, as we've become accustomed to. But yeah, they already, as LGD, felt like they needed to do something. Shiro throws out this Chrono, was doing a whole heck of a lot to kill off that Doom, but in the end, it was not enough. The range on that Walrus kick is crazy.
Yeah, I mean, he's got, of course, Supremacy plus Aether Lens, so just always going to be able to boot him out of Chrono every single time he makes a move. Look at that smile! He got kicked as he kicked him, too, so it looked really funny.
Dude,
I think they can probably close the game pretty soon. LGD, they have nothing left.
Legitimately, the Tusk Axe buy is losing them the game. Like, if he didn't have Walrus kick, I mean, obviously things were going bad before, but like the ability to kick the Void out of Chrono, the ability to find that initiation onto the DP, it turned a bad situation worse.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It was all up to that fight, though, around the river, right?
Yeah.
They got the catch on the Void after he bought out. I think that's probably going to be the words from, I would imagine, from Xiaowei being like, why'd you buy the Silver Edge? You don't have buyback, and they get this Doom off. If you have buyback, perhaps you can actually take fight around Roche. But, I mean, Aster, we've seen them do this a lot in this tour. How they just pick and choose the perfect battle. They're always patient. They always know that they can scale, and yeah. Blowing the game wide open. 2 racks is down 96%. After we had such a stable game for 40 minutes.
That one hurts.
One fight is all it takes for them.
Yeah, that's just stepping off the cliff right there into the void. Wow.
Such beautiful. I love this. I hope that in the next game is just as, I mean, it was calm, right, for quite some time, but the way that they play the map, it's honestly some of the most beautiful Dota I've seen in quite some time. Because it's so careful about how they want to play. It's not just some farm fest or something like that. It's every single little thing. These timings for items, these timings for wasted ultimates, etc.
Yeah. How they recognize like their place within the game and what they need to accomplish at each moment. And with 2 sets of racks taken, there's still a range up top. It feels like it might be sort of that constriction time of sticking LGD in the base and making sure they stay there.
Yeah, Baboka is about to surpass the death profit in net worth.
I mean, some of it's Philly, but that's not all Philly.
No way.
That is a lot of just really clutch plays.
Yep.
And going in for a Lincoln Sphere next just to help his team that much more, and himself, I guess.
Yeah, at this point now, it's really difficult for LGD to really get much of anything connecting because they've started to fall apart on 2 of their cores. The void is always going to be answered, and they're playing versus Aegis too. So Aster, full map control after they've taken also the gems from earlier from those fights too. Look at this ward coverage. There's nothing LGD can do. Nowhere they can go either.
Have to wait for an overextension. Kunkka, we saw that nullifier out for him. I'm trying to think. I mean, you never want to like fully give up, particularly if you got this faceless void in your lineup. You've got so much potential just to, in the similar way to the Doom, isolate somebody and make their net worth effectively 0. But it's going to depend upon some pretty big misplays from Aster. And, you know, maybe we see Kunkka get into like a shard or something and try and create some chaos with the tidal wave, but it's not easy.
No. And Monet, he's going to be careful, right? He has Aegis, but he's also saving buyback as Why You Smile gets grabbed again.
All it takes is 1 lift.
It's a lot of kills that he's been given. A lot of like positional mistakes, it feels like, for Why You Smile, but it doesn't feel like it's his fault, right? It feels like Aster just playing pretty much perfectly. This is, amazing game.
So, Monet set up down on the bottom side, double creep waves coming in and the other angles, and he's just going to plink away at it. Does have a torrent to try and force him back for a moment here.
Yeah, he's a come at me. I've still got Aegis. I've got my buddy Baboka behind me just in case of anything.
God, that swift blink. So much attack speed. Another torrent out, another creep wave in, and they're going to start to lose the racks up top if they're not careful. Can't quite get that kick back from Planet.
Yeah, they're trying to break the Lincolns so that then he'd go for the kick, but yeah, unable to. As now Aster, they're like, okay, got what we came for. Sit back, wait a little bit. Play this careful.
Yeah. With that Aegis expiring, don't want to throw away this lead because you can't give anything to LGD. They will take a lot back in return.
Look at this, they're playing the map super clean, right? They shove in all 3 lanes, go back to the triangle, make sure that LGD just is constricted and unable to really farm much of anything.
And if ever they're not showing, you're going to see Aster group together and make sure they don't get caught out by a smoke, most likely.
Yeah, just keep playing around this ward vision that they have like pretty much all the information of what LGD is doing. Baboka sitting in trees, waiting to break a smoke. Tree sitting up on this high ground, waiting to break it as well.
They know exactly where they're going to be coming in from. And LGD, look, he's walking with them.
Yep.
Pichu knows fully. They drop down a ward, blinks away in time.
Complete awareness.
Unreal. And yeah, I mean, that's the only place that LGB could be.
Uh-oh. Might get jumped. He's waiting patiently. The waves are forcing in.
As they try and re-enter the base, they could be in some trouble here. Hiding out, Tusk in the creep wave, and it looks like he's going to get away before the paint train comes.
I wonder if they're communicating as well, saying like AC aura on creeps, right? Because when that smoke comes out, you see that negative AC aura onto them, so maybe they did actually... I didn't see anybody ping it or anything like that, but you have to imagine that these players are incredibly aware of that.
True. Nothing to say. Again, does another round of shoving out waves, and the only time that LGD can leave the base is when they get this 1 wave shove out. And you can see that when that happens, Aster, they play together up on this high ground and cover all their bases.
Yeah, and even looking now potentially to take out some couriers here. I see the Tusk courier flying in, but they actually don't get vision of it. Yep, just keep them constricted, keep the farm going, let the fight come to you, Aster, with a perfect game plan.
Yeah, he's going back for that Aether Lens. I think that bottom pressure that we saw from Monet, he was just out of range of trying to find that kickback after the Lincolns had been popped.
Yeah, I think he's... Does he have it finished? Yeah, he does. Okay. So Telescope put in the inventory as well, plus Lens. Yeah, they're knowing that their only real hope to be able to kill this Drow, to be able to have any chance to come back in this game is tier 4 / putting him in the fountain.
Right. Which they have a good lineup for.
Yeah. Okay, so he actually has done the double down. What, they're going to give the telescope to the Bane, and he's taking the Eye of Vizier on the Tusk. So any cast range possible, the maximum to be able to try to boot him in.
That is very funny. That is a really big AoE.
Yeah. Shiro
jumps up high ground, says hello, how you doing?
Puts a ward down.
And has to get away.
Instantly taken out. Yeah, they need to be able to get... I mean, they need a multi-hero chrono for them to have any hope. And the way Aster's just been playing, everybody's just always playing separated. They have blinks on, what, everybody, right? All five heroes have blinks to be able to just... If they see a jump from the chrono, they're all just going to blink and just, like, scatter away from it, too. So, yeah, Shiro's job is just impossible.
Such a hard game for them. And this is where, like, you could imagine this Hex coming into play, right? If you can catch that one hero and, you know, keep them under fire, that's something that can kind of work. But... it requires you having a good positioning. And Roche about to respawn now in just about a minute.
Okay, bottom wave is pretty hefty. Looks like Baboka is going to be the one to go deal with it. That gem is actually still left on the ground from when YU Smile died in the all-deciding fight on the ramp. It's pretty funny, but they don't care. Actually, they're sending a courier finally for it.
And they lose that top range barracks. Nobody was there to push out the wave.
Yeah. And Baboka fade bolts the top wave. We'll be able to stop that push pretty effectively. I mean, it's still a big creep wave, but he wants to be ready to fight.
Yeah. And as soon as he shows, that would be the moment that you would run out as LGD to try and take a fight.
For sure. But yeah, instantly joins his team. And they're just tree armoring the tower also, too, so it should just be fine. It is that level 20 tree armor also, so the tower's got 36 armor, so it doesn't take pretty much any damage from catapults.
So 25s, it's the backtrack. It is for Pango, the swashbuckle cooldown, actually. Opting for that one. And, of course, the Infernal Blade damage on that Doom as they almost connect right there. Just barely keeping him out of harm's way. Roche about to respawn. That bottom wave's still there, and you can see Baboka in the pit, and he's going to see it immediately.
Yeah, that bottom wave, yeah, tree armor just completely nullifies it, so...
Do they go on into here, though? I mean, it's still a little bit scary against this lineup, and there's the kickback. They find him with the grip. Under control, the Chrono is already down, trying to kill him, but they just walk into the Chrono right now with nothing to say. Do they have enough for the finish? They will, but Monet, they're on top of him. Xian Yu trying to do damage to this Drow. Can they do it, though? Shiro needs to get a jump up at the Doom. At the last second, XXS finds him. Pichu just comes on in and punches down that tree to death. That is a triple kill for XXS. The man does it again, and though there are buybacks, there are not the spells they need.
No, Monet was just in the perfect spot, just hitting everybody. Sure, there's like a Tusk standing on him, but it doesn't matter. Has enough damage, and XXS buyback. He's back in the fray, and he has another Doom available too. As Aster finally going to be able to close this one out. Still, amazing game.
Yeah, not even opting to go in for those bottom set of racks. No. They're just going to straight hit onto these tier 4s. The buyback comes out from nothing to say. With no Chrono, it feels like an impossibility defending against this. They do jump right away onto that Drow, but the silence is there. They're waiting on it. There it is. Chrono, which was stolen by Baboka, because why not? And now the connection. That's a DP dead. XXS right on top of him. Didn't stand a chance. He's trying to beat him down, but the turn, it's too much. Nothing to say. Also in trouble. They buy back on this DP. She is going to be brought down. GG is called.
Wow.
Aster still looking good. Still looking like the top team in China.
These guys are damn good at Dota. I mean, after what, one or two little mistake kind of fights where we saw like the blink in the tree inside the Chrono and stuff like that, all they needed was one, right? They get